Just a quick update now that we are back home from our European trip that we drove from Reading area all the way down to Munich and back. Just a few notes and tips that we found that I want to share with you guys. The first tip that we found was we bought a GB sticker for the car, and I thought that I'm gonna get a magnetic one and it would work perfect because I don't have to put a sticker on my car and then I have to peel it off when I get home and it creates a mark or something like that. So I went and bought a magnetic one. So we got to the tunnel, and what did we find with the magnetic one? It doesn't stick to the car because most of the car is, I think it's aluminium. So we couldn't use the GB sticker, and I think in the end we actually went out and bought a small little GB sticker that allowed us just to fit that on, because as far as I understand you need this GB sticker. So tip, do not buy the magnetic one because it doesn't stick to anywhere on the model, I think on the Model S and the Model X. Note number 2, if you're planning to use the local infrastructure, the local chargers, I did a bit of reading and I asked a few of the guys on the Tesla UK forum or the Tesla UK group, the Facebook group. That's really helpful, and most of them suggested using the new motion card. I applied for the new motion card. It's free and you basically just top it up and if you need it. Luckily we didn't need it. The hotels that we stayed at had their own charger, but it wasn't listed on PlugShare or any of the other ones. So yeah, we were very lucky with that. But yeah, the new motion card it pretty much covers the whole or most of Europe, and it's something good to have, that if you run into any trouble, then at least you can use the local charging network. The other thing that I found as well is if you're looking for charging cables, again, we found a guy on the Tesla UK group called Xavier Walker. He's based in Reading, and he actually makes up cable kits for pretty much anywhere in Europe and in the UK if you need an extra type of adapter for your UK setup. And I contacted him via the Tesla UK group, and I went to see him because it's sometimes a little bit not confusing, but it's difficult to understand what cables you specifically need for where you're going to go to. We were traveling mostly through Germany, or our longest leg was through Germany because we were staying in Germany. So I could have actually just bought a German adapter lead. But he hires out like the whole Europe kit for a really good price, I think, really. For what you're getting, you can actually charge anywhere, and you'll have extension leads, and you can couple the leads together to actually make a longer lead. It's absolutely brilliant. So if you need any cabling adapters or charging adapters for locally in the UK, or for any trips into Europe, if you want to buy it or hire it, check out Xavier. You can all find him on the Tesla UK group on Facebook, or check the description down below for his website details and his contact details. Awesome guy, really helpful, and the service was excellent. Note number 3, basically on our trip down, we found that most of the Van der Valk hotels had all superchargers in their hotel complex, or they had destination chargers, and it's so nice to be able to stop off at a hotel. They've got big parking lots, and you know, you park there, fill up your car at the supercharger, you go into the hotels. Usually the hotels is really nice inside. You grab a quick coffee. The staff was friendly. we even on our way back, we stayed over at one of the Van der Valk hotels, just sort of the last leg before we went back into the Channel Tunnel. And they had two Tesla destination chargers that is so nice that you can plug in. I used it for about 3 hours, went to unplug my car, parked the car there, and so someone else can use it. But it's so nice. And we also planned our whole trip more to stop at hotels and overnight stops where there's Tesla destination chargers, because we know they work, and we really didn't have any problems. So it looks like maybe this Van der Valk hotel chain has got some special deal with Tesla to have their superchargers and destination chargers, and I think it's brilliant. You know, I think most of the hotels should have at least a destination charger for their customers, and for anyone that might run into trouble that needs an hour or 2 hour top up just to get to a destination. Okay, the next one is a little tip for the sat nav that we found. Well, not really a tip. I think most of the people will know it, but it just sort of not confused us, but it sort of you glance down, it's like, oh, what is actually happening here? Firstly, is when you plan a route. So say you plan it from Calais to your end destination. When you stop at a supercharger, you will then only be shown how much time you need to get back on the road. That's perfectly fine. And sometimes it's very short. It's like 15-20 minutes max. It is usually the car will be ready way before we finished our coffee or had a quick toilet break. So that's the one side of it. What we also found is if we cancel the route when we reach our supercharger, so you plan that you plan your day trip, and then as soon as you get to your supercharger, you re-plan the trip. So you cancel your trip, and then you put in your end destination in again. And usually what it does is, because you maybe stopped a little bit longer at that specific supercharger, because maybe you had something to eat, or you just walked around there and it's really nice and you spend a little bit more time, you would actually fill up your car further, and you might be able to skip one or even two superchargers. So the tip is to, when you get to a supercharger, is cancel your route, and then when you leave is re-enter the end destination, and it would recalculate your distance and sort of usually put you to another supercharger on your route. Also, if you get to your destination supercharger, or sorry, if you get to a supercharger and you cancel the route, the charging or your information panel is going to tell you how much time it's going to take to charge your car to its full capacity, or to where you've set it, say 90% to 80%. We also found is when we did a lot of autobahn driving, and the battery gets hot, if you plug in, the charge rate was really low, and I'm like, it would say like it's going to be an hour, but give it like 5 minutes, and then the charge rate jumps up to 94, 95, 99 kilowatt. So I think it's just sort of it does a initial plug-in. It basically checks probably the heat of the battery, start the cooling of the battery, and then it starts pumping the electrons. And yeah, it was always faster than what I and the family expected it to be for our stops. Most of the driving was about between an hour and a half to just under 2 hours between our stops, and that's perfect for us. Our little one that's the perfect time for us to get out, stretch our legs. The next note is just about hydrogen fuel stations. We found one on the way. It was at a supercharger, and it just really very nicely laid out. But the whole fuel station area consumes about the same size as 4 Tesla bays, and it just looks like a really involved setup. You know, there's safety requirements, and again, you need a special card to activate the charger. There's only one pump, and it's really a big area. It looks like you need quite a lot of infrastructure and space to roll out the hydrogen fuel cell stations. So you know, where you look at the Tesla bays, you know, it's a fairly clean area. There's no special requirements of how you need to park your car, or real safety issues. You know, you reverse your car in and you plug your car in. Boom, job done. It's just a lot less complexity, I find, but at least it's there. And we didn't see any hydrogen fuel cell cars on the roads. We saw a lot of Teslas. But also, speaking to the father-in-law, he said the uptake on electric cars is very slow in Germany. He doesn't know why. It's just, it doesn't feel like there's for him a lot of drive. And on the whole time that we were visiting them, we went to see a few areas and where they can charge, just to show him that there is a lot of chargers. And to be honest, in Germany there's a lot of chargers. Most of the motorway service stations has got chargers. It's just they don't know about it. And it's again this whole thing about communication, is getting people excited and showing them that it's fairly straightforward. You get a card, you drive, you plug in your car, and you carry on. And you know, Germany is, yes, the Autobahn, you can drive always fast, but most of the time you drive at 120 kilometers an hour. That's pretty much about, what, 72, 75 miles per hour. So you can't really, you know, get into real trouble where you run your car empty and then you're stuck on the motorway. You know, there's really a lot of chargers all over Germany that we found. And again, there's loads of apps that you can use to get the special cards, and you know, get the app, or most of them are also free. The other note is for the Eurotunnel, or the Channel Tunnel. We found it just a little bit confusing when we booked our car in. We were looking for a place to select wide load on the website, and there isn't one. You basically have to select a large car, or a car with a roof box, or something in that line, and then they basically book the Model S and the Model X. They book it into the wide bays. Usually that's with the buses and the RVs and so on. And we didn't know this, so because we couldn't find the place to select if you've got a wide or high load car. So when we drove up, the guys basically called us out of the row, and they said basically, you guys come into this other lane, and then we went in with the high load cars, and it's much more space, and yeah, it was just a great experience. The guys at the Channel Tunnel, the service and the help there has always been spot on. You know, it's so nice to actually drive through, get something to eat, have a little top up on the superchargers in the terminal, get your number called out, drive through on the other side, get on the train, over to the other side is 30 minutes, and then you're in France. It is absolutely perfect. It just, the passport control is so nice. I actually wish that they would be able to do that while flying. It just works perfect. And then just to round the trip up in closing, it was an absolute great holiday. We had such a great experience. There was, you know, the people we met on the way, the people in Germany is, you know, the hotel that we stayed at, you know, the lady at the reception didn't really know anything about electric cars, but she was keen to plug us into the higher output in their hotel garage. But they had an outside charger and they unlocked it for me, and they, you know, they're very accommodating. You know, the kitchen wasn't open, but she gave us some hot chocolate, sorted me out a nice cold beer after a long day of driving. Just such a great experience. And I must say, you know, it's a long drive to get from Reading all the way down to Munich, but it's such a great experience. It is such a nice family time. Yes, it's long, but you get to stop and see the countryside, see and experience other ways of how people do things, and you know, get to meet other people, and yeah, get to drive on awesome roads in Germany. It's absolutely brilliant. I would just like to stay there for a little bit longer, just to go and explore more. You know, it's even go drive down to Switzerland. It would be so nice. As soon as you have your own car in another country, it's just so nice to actually just get in the car and go. Use a hotel, or if you have family, as a base station, and just go out for day trips and just go and explore. Because, you know, with 200 miles on a full charge or a 90% charge, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we are definitely planning on doing another few holidays into Europe with the car. My only problem now is the car's on a PCP deal, and we are racking up the miles like mad, you know. So because we use this car as a normal car, you know, it goes anywhere, and it drives like a normal car. It's big for the whole family. The boot is massive, and yeah, it's just absolutely awesome. So I'm so happy with this car. And usually I would get a little bit what do you call it, a bit bored of a car after about a year, and every time I get into this car, it's like I'm gonna have to drive my Tesla again, and it's beautiful and it's a great experience. And yes, it's got some small little problems that the people are complaining about, quality problems. I haven't really had that, but people's complaining about quality problems. But man, it's so great to be part of this whole EV experience. It's just brilliant. I just want another car, or a Model X. So guys, thank you for joining us on this trip, and we will see you on the next trip. Cheers.